What's up, guys? Matt Brown here for thelines.com, playpicks.com. Going to talk to you a little bit about this Chiefs and Patriots game before we get going. As always, hit that subscribe button down below. Be the first to get notified every single time we make some content here on the channel. Give us a thumbs up and let us know in the comment section how you plan on playing this game. I won't call it Monday Night Football, but it is football taking place on Monday night. As we know, this thing has been postponed due to COVID. Cam Newton is the big news. He will not be playing tonight at quarterback for the Patriots because he is the reason that, at least one of the reasons why this thing got postponed. He tested positive for COVID. You can have a full breakdown over here at the lines, and I'll scroll if you want to kind of read along some of these little insight things and stuff that are going on here. I'm not big on the trends and stuff, but hey, maybe you are. Let's take a look at how this line is sitting right now. So it has moved to 10.5 after it got reposted and Cam Newton was ruled out. So 10.5 in favor of the Chiefs, 49.5 on the total over here at FanDuel, 10.5, 49.5, and then over here at MGM we can see 10.5 and 49.5. So it is the exact same, all three books right now if you want to go about betting this thing. So I was all ready to back the Patriots when they were catching a full touchdown. Actually, I did. The bet is in my account, unfortunately, and that's just going to be a loser more than likely at the full touchdown when it was Cam Newton at quarterback, because there was a situation where maybe the stars were all kind of aligning here. It was the number one rushing team in the NFL and the Patriots going up against one of the very worst rushing defenses in all the NFL in the Kansas City Chiefs, and catching a full touchdown. Patriots control the clock, control the ball, keep Mahomes on the sideline, and keep this thing within a touchdown. But everything's changed now, and so this whole handicap is really, really weird, and I'll do my best to kind of walk you through some different thoughts on all of this, but I don't really know where this is going to end up in my account. Like I said, I already have a bad Patriots ticket in my account from earlier in the week when it was a full touchdown, and thought that I was getting, the full Patriots team here. So what we do know is the offense, like I said, from the Patriots side of things, at least so far, the offensive line been run blocking great. Number 4 overall by Pro Football Focus. Their rushing offense is number 1 DVOA. Their third down conversion percentage, they've been moving the chains continually. They're 11th in the NFL. They're converting 44.5% of the time on third down. So all of that, though, with Newton at the helm. I don't really need to tell you exactly about the Chiefs offense, but I can. I mean, look, number 1 overall ranked pass offense DVOA. They're sitting here converting third downs, best rate in the league, 58.5%. So, they are converting 6 out of every 10 third downs that they get. And you can understand, right? I mean, there's just so many different ways that they can go about doing this. I'll scroll over here if you want to read some of this other stuff. I mean, none of this really makes a ton of difference, but hey, we'll let you read it along. So let's try and figure this out from a defensive standpoint here. The Patriots still have really good corners and still have really good pass coverage. So maybe they can go in and maybe they can try and neutralize what's going on with the Chiefs, and maybe they can try and neutralize that air game. So then the Chiefs maybe have to use the ball a little bit more on the ground. Same thing over on the Chiefs side. They have a much, much better pass defense than a run defense. Actually, one of the very worst run defenses in all the NFL, which is one of the reasons why I was backing the Patriots in the first place in this thing. When they were at full strength. I mean, we were talking about a rush defense that is 30th DVOA in the NFL, 29th rush defense, according to Pro Football Focus. They give up 5.3 yards per rush, a 53% rushing success rate is this Chiefs defense. And so there's a lot to really dislike about that. And so we're trying to figure this out. It just, everything seemed to be aligning that way. But now here we sit at 10.5, 49.5 with Brian Hoyer taking over at quarterback for the Patriots. So let's start with the total and then we'll kind of go from there. I mean, a case for the over, it's the Chiefs offense, right? I mean, at the end of the day, we kind of saw this against this Ravens team. Andy Reid held back in week 1 on Thursday. They kept that offense pretty bland. And coaches, especially these old school NFL coaches, even ones that are pretty progressive like Andy Reid, have this mindset that if you show something to someone, then you can't use it again. You know, like you want to keep things close to the vest sometimes so that you can use them multiple times throughout the season. And so that you can use them later on in the season. Well, bland offense in that Texans game, whatever. Then they got the kind of the sneak attack there from Herbert having to start because of the Tyrod Taylor injury thing that kind of threw him off whack. Then you saw when they had a full time to prepare for a team, and a really good team at that in the Ravens. And what happened? They went out there and they were able to do basically whatever they wanted to on the offensive side of the ball. And even with this Patriots team being as good as they are through the air, I mean, listen, that's one of the best secondaries you're going to see with the Ravens. And they were still able to pop them through the air. So, and of course they still have a ground game as well with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, which is another, one of the more weaker spots actually of this Patriots team. And then, the Patriots should have some success moving the ball on the ground. How much can the Chiefs get you fairly close to here? Maybe so. And then you don't have to have much from the Pats. The underside of things plays out kind of like this. Look, the Patriots play ball control, right? They take the ball. They understand that, hey, this Chiefs team, yeah, we don't have Cam Newton. We don't have the running quarterback, but at least we still have a full stable of running backs back here. We can hit you with all kind of different looks, and you're giving up 5.3 yards per carry. You're giving up a 53% success rushing rate right now. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to take what you give us, and we're not going to try to get fancy. I'm Bill Belichick. I'm going to use, my infinite amount of knowledge here and understand that if there's an Achilles heel for your defense, I'm going to attack it come hell or high water, no matter who's at quarterback for me. So what that does, as we know, it just it runs the clock, right? So if you keep the ball on the ground, tick, 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 tick. If you're not throwing incomplete passes, then the clock continues to run, and it goes tick, 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 tick. And then the other side of this is, again, like I said, I mean, the strength of the defense for the Patriots is actually the pass defense, and the rush defense is weakest. So maybe both teams just run it down each other's throats, and we look up, and at the end of the day, this thing is 24-20, 24-17. And we go, wow, I can't believe that. Can't believe the Chiefs just played a 24-17 game or 24-20 game. But, and it goes really, really fast because the clock just keeps running the whole time. Over on the player prop side of things, if you take a look here, I mean, I think it's going to be hard to peg these running back situation from the Patriots, right? Because they're going to have a ton of people active tonight. They're going to have James White back. They're going to have Burkhead. They're also going to, it looks like they're going to make Damian Harris active off of the IR. So they're going to have a ton of running back. So it's kind of hard to peg, touchdowns, even an anytime touchdown scorer. So not really interested in that all that much. If you have a massive bankroll, over a half on Patrick Mahomes touchdown pass, depending on, I understand you don't typically get in the process of wagering 1,000 to win 100, but if you have a big bankroll, that's nearly a lock, right? But you look down here, bigger-ish bankroll, I still like over 1.5 for Patrick Mahomes. So, look, like we said, one of the better secondaries you're going to face in the Ravens. He was able to pick them apart. I don't think that there's going to be that big of a difference here for the Patriots in success in trying to stop Patrick Mahomes. So definitely like the over 1.5 there on the touchdowns. When you look at the receiving yards, the only one that kind of stood out a little bit, and this is really just more of a, you look and you only need one. McCole Hardman sitting here at 20 yards. Basically this is one catch for him, right? Like we know the type of player that Hardman is. He's the get downfield, get behind the defense, and that's what it's going to be about. He's only going to get 3 or 4 targets in the game, and they're not very high percentage targets as it is usually. But to get over this 19.5, he needs one catch. So that one was the only one that kind of looked a little bit interesting for me when it came down to it. And then the other one down here, and they've taken these off the board, for the Patriots receivers, which is a little bit of a bummer here. So the receptions, the Patriots receivers were at least a little bit interesting if you think that the Patriots are going to fall behind in this game, but they're now off the board, so we can't get to any of those props. As far as the game line goes, guys, let's look. I mean, 10.5. If this thing got somehow between now and the time you watch this, if this thing closer to game time got to Pats plus 13 or something like that, where, maybe I could pull the trigger on the Patriots. Like I said, I'm already in the hole here, holding a bad Patriots ticket from making a bet earlier in the week when Cam Newton was at quarterback. So I'm already invested, unfortunately, on the wrong side, I believe. It would be a Chiefs or pass for me on this game. We've seen what the Chiefs can do when this offense turns it on. Will Andy Reid hold back? And that's the only thing that's scary to me about this, and the only thing that's scary to me, and which is why, again, I won't have an additional play on this game. And you should, consider that maybe there's another Monday Night Football game that you like some of the bets a little bit better as well, is the Chiefs could get out to a big lead here, and then maybe Andy Reid just kind of takes his foot off the gas a little bit, and with a 10.5-point spread, it really does leave the back door wide open, even for a guy like Brian Hoyer, right? Like, even for him, he's been in the league a long time. Garbage time completions, garbage time scores are nothing new to him. So that's the only scary thing about this big number here. But it's a Chiefs or pass for me at the 10.5. And again, like I said, if this thing started just running like hell, I mean, it's still an island game, standalone game. Public's going to come in and start betting. If this thing ran and somehow miraculously made it, a couple of points higher, maybe I would think about backing the Patriots in that situation where we're talking about they got to lose by 2 whole touchdowns, but I don't think that's going to get to be the case here for this one. As far as the total goes, if I had a lean in this thing, I would lean under. I will not have a play on this because, again, the scary part is just the Chiefs offense. I do believe that the Patriots game plan is going to be to run the ball anyway. Like, even if they don't have a running quarterback, keep the ball away from Patrick Mahomes, keep him on the sidelines. He can't hurt you if he's not on the field. And so I believe that would be a really, a smart way to go about this for Bill Belichick and this Patriots team, and which would lead a little bit closer towards an under in this thing. And of course, if that's the case, if you ever did want to play an under, you know how this works. Wait till right up until game time, because the public bets overs like nobody's business. So this thing will hit, this thing will hit 50, if not 51 even, by the time this thing goes around. So would hold off and play if that's what you wanted to do on the under. Would be right before game time, something like that. But kind of a bummer situation here, guys. We had a really interesting game when Cam Newton was under quarterback. We don't necessarily have that anymore with the way this is with Brian Hoyer under quarterback, and the Chiefs could probably just go out and do Chiefs things here. And we'll just be waiting on playoff baseball and the second Monday night game to start. So hopefully not, but that kind of has the feel to me that the Chiefs are going to be able to do kind of whatever they want to in this game. Appreciate you guys watching. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up and subscribe and all that stuff. Let us know in the comment section how you're going to play this game, if you're going to play this game, if anything kind of jumps off the page here, maybe that I missed somewhere along the way. Stick around on the channel as well. We'll have a Monday Night Football preview as well, and good luck with all of your bets.